I would say there's been about a 60 to 70% loss in sales during this COVID-19 lockdown. If 70% of the sales that would have been done, now let's not forget that we were in recession before lockdown. So we're 70% down from that situation, means that the normal trade that would have carried on without lockdown would have been 70% more, which means that there's pent-up demand. So when COVID-19 lockdown ends, there'll probably be a pent-up demand that might give a false situation to begin with of a booming market, because all the people that would have and could have sold will now come to the fore, and there'll be lots of market activity initially. Very surprised. I think that we're probably, transfer of property is probably one of the biggest sources of income to the revenue, to the government revenue. And in lockdown, there's been zero. So it is a huge dent in the government's pocket. And I can't understand why. I mean, we, of all people, could follow the rules very, very carefully. We would only employ 30% of the people in the office itself. People are working remotely. It doesn't make a difference. The agent can go by car alone. The clients can come, husband and wife. The seller can not even be around. They can make themselves scarce. And there's no reason why it shouldn't be happening. There's one word, fussbait. It's a word used in the army, and that's what you got to do. It's a fussbait time. We will, look, my opinion is that if it doesn't happen sooner, the latest it's going to happen is about 2 months from now, where real estate is going to re-enter the market in full force with all the precautions, of course. So the agents will be pleased, I think, or the sellers will be pleased that there will be pent-up demand coming through. So it will manifest in increased activity across the board. The rand has gone out completely. So you have to be very, very rich to think of immigration. And why would you want to immigrate? I mean, every country has had the same problem as ours. And South Africa has always had, in my opinion, in spite of everything, the best lifestyle out of all countries. Every time I've traveled overseas and I come back, I want to kiss the ground because it's so beautiful. The country is beautiful and the lifestyle is affordable for us. You would never have this lifestyle anywhere else if you had to immigrate. The rand is so advantageous for overseas people to come in and buy property, particularly the swallows from Europe. I mean, they could come in now. Property is more depressed than it's ever been in the last, I don't know how many years. I don't think it's ever been this low. And the rand is great value. So I would think that there would be quite a demand from overseas buyers. It's all a matter of sentiment. And but there is going to be, coupled with that, is going to be the recession will be worse than it was prior to the COVID, because the effect of the COVID on the economy is devastatingly bad, and people need to recover from that. So there's not going to be as much disposable income around as even in the recessionary period, but there are going to be people looking for bargains, and they will get those bargains, and that's where the activity will be. Okay, so let's define markets. Anything up to from 0 to 1.5 has always been an active market, and that market will continue to be active. from 1.5 to 2.5 will also be active, but not as much as up to 1.5. The trouble starts at 2.5 upwards. So if sentiment improves, that market will automatically improve. If the price of property comes down further, which is quite an ask, I think that property will be more attractive, purchasing property than renting property, because interest rates are down. So from that point of view, where rental was on its own mission prior to COVID, I think there'll be competition now because of the ease of which you can buy a house, a property. I'm a gym nut, so before lockdown, I made sure that I had some equipment to exercise with on a daily basis. I bought a cross trainer that I've got in my garden. I've got weights in my bedroom, and I've got a boxing bag in the yard. So between those three, and I've also got floor exercises in the morning. So I have to do exercise, and then I decided that I would write a book, my own book, which has kept me busy. And I've done 200 pages, and that's just the skeleton. Now I need to get it typed, and then I need to flush it out. So I have kept busy up until this point, and I think that's the secret. You've got to have discipline, and you've got to make yourself busy in order to cope.